So, for the past 5 years of my life, I kept falling off self-improvement. I was the guy who, for him, everything clicked when I found out about this idea of changing your life for the better, of accomplishing your goals. But I couldn't, for the life of me, stay consistent. And it made me depressed. It made me depressed and losing all hope. Because this kept happening hundreds and hundreds of times. Eventually, at some point in my life, there would come what you would call a turning point, where I had a falling out with one of my siblings. And because of that interaction, I tried to kill myself. During that moment, when everything just kept falling down, that maybe if I just died, my suffering would end. That maybe I wasn't even meant to win in the first place. Now, fast forward to present day, and I have become insanely consistent with my goals. Like, I'm no longer losing any of my progress. I'm no longer falling off self-improvement. I have become insanely consistent. And in this video, we're going to talk about what I like to call the healing phase of self-improvement. So, the healing phase of self-improvement is an ideology that I invented that's all for guys like us who are ambitious, who want to make a change in our lives, who know about self-improvement, but for the life of us, we fucking struggle to get consistent. So there are times when we fucking quit, we fell off self-improvement, we get stuck in a rut, and we struggle to get back up. The healing phase of self-improvement is what I've invented to help me, like past me, to get back into self-improvement, to pull himself together and get back on track. So, one of the main reasons why we fall off, and struggle to get back up is because of our task's difficulty. Like, let's look at this from a level perspective, right? So let's say that your tasks back then were level 5 tasks, right? Level 5 tasks, and you back then as well were level 5. So those tasks that you were doing, those mobs that you were slaying, you can actually handle them. You can actually finish all of them because you were the suitable level for those tasks, for those mobs. Now, what's happening, or what happens when you fall off? What happens when you quit and you get stuck in a rut is that your level decreases. Let's say you get stuck in a rut for a week. Your level has decreased to level 4. And now, those level 5 tasks, those level 5 mobs, are harder to kill. Actually, it may even come to the point where you might not even be able to do them. So, with that in mind, with the decrease in your level in mind, what you now need to do is start it off with level 4 mobs, like the mobs that you can handle, and work your way up towards level 5 again. Now, for most of us, because if you're like me, you probably got stuck in a rut for a while, or you probably like really fried yourself to the point where, like, if you're doing mental tasks, you're not really as good with them. So probably we're at like level 2 or 3. and we're gonna need to ease ourselves slowly back into level 5. So, without terminology out of the way, let's continue on with the application of our lesson, right? So, first things first, we need to get good sleep for a bunch of reasons. So, my first reason is that with good sleep, I found that tasks become more bearable and more enjoyable, because when you get stuck in a rut, a lot of the times what we tend to do is that we spend a lot of our time, just playing video games, scrolling social media, or whatever instant gratification may be, and we do it to the point where early morning comes. We do it to the point where we're doing it early in the fucking morning. So, with getting good sleep, what this does, firstly, is it helps to make the task that you're doing more bearable. Because I found that in myself, whenever I was doing my tasks, I was always just kind of tired. I always just had that heavy feeling. And it resulted in my enjoyability of my tasks, as well as like the bearability of those tasks, to just like really decrease, and the chances of me quitting again would just increase by a substantial amount, just because like it fucking hurt. It fucking hurt to do those tasks. So that's one of the reasons. The other reason is because with mental tasks, because as a YouTuber, like one of my tasks is to create these videos, and in order to create these videos as well as they could be, one of my mental tasks with shooting videos is getting good sleep. Because when you get good sleep, your mind is at its proper mental acuity, its proper like level of intelligence to be able to explain properly, to be able to think properly, to be able to get shit done to a pretty good degree with your mental tasks. With your mental tasks, intelligence, or at least your level of thinking, matters. That's why we get good sleep, because when you get good sleep, it heals your brain. It helps your brain to be able to think better. That's why we get good sleep. Now, how do you get good sleep? So, what I currently do to get good sleep is I go to my room, I set up on my phone actually beforehand, like an alarm for when I'm about to sleep. And I usually set that alarm an hour before my actual sleep schedule. So let's say my actual sleep schedule is 9 p.m. I set up my alarm for when I'm about to sleep at 8 p.m. Because at 8 p.m. is what I like to call the preparation for sleep. Because when we sleep, we don't really fall asleep right away when we like fucking slap ourselves onto our bed. We don't fall asleep right away. That's why we prepare ourselves for sleep. So, when you enter the preparation for sleep, like 8 p.m. for me, what I do is I remove every single gadget on the premise. I remove every single gadget on the premise. Like, if you can, go ahead and buy an alarm clock, like a traditional alarm clock that can wake you up. Because temptation is a thing. Temptation with your gadgetries, with your phone, with video games, with your social media apps is a thing. So, what I recommend that you do is you buy a traditional alarm clock, maybe like one of those digital alarm clocks. For heavy sleepers, I recommend that you go and buy like alarm clocks that are actually like really fucking loud. That way you can actually like wake up early. But you buy a traditional alarm clock, and that's the alarm clock that you're going to be using from now on. Now, besides that, with your gadgets, when you're entering the preparation phase of sleep, when you're entering the hour before you're about to go to sleep, Stop using your gadgets. Stop using your phone. Stop using your laptop. Stop everything. Because one of the main driving points of shit sleep is blue light. When we expose ourselves to blue light, our eyes struggle to sleep. Our eyes get fucking fried in a sense. And it's one of those major influences of shit sleep, blue light. That's why when you enter in the preparation phase of sleep, you go and just completely go cold turkey with every single one of your gadgets. You're going to prepare for sleep, and you're just in your room at your bed preparing for sleep. Besides that, you go on to turn off the light. Just put your room in complete utter darkness. Because light, interestingly enough, is one of those factors that one of our ancestors, or just our ancestors in general, have associated with early morning, associated with waking up. So if there's any form of light inside of your room when you're about to go to sleep, remember, preparation for sleep means we're preparing to go to sleep. Which means you're already at your room. Preparing to go to sleep. So, with eternal darkness, not really eternal darkness, that sounded so fucking gothy. With putting your room in darkness is it helps to align your body and tell it, body, it's time for us to go to sleep. It's dark outside. It's time for us to preserve our energy, heal ourselves for tomorrow. So, let's go. Let's sleep, body. And you just have to make sure that there is no other light source. If you have a lamp, okay, we can still use the lamp. We'll talk about that later. But darkness, right? We plunge our room into darkness. Now, besides that, we also have white noise. Go ahead, I'm probably going to invest in this in myself. Go ahead and buy a white noise machine. One of those noise machines where it can stimulate a thunderstorm, birds chirping, water bubbling. I think that is because I've studied these, right? I've studied how habits form, and when you buy that fucking white noise machine, what happens when you go ahead and turn those white noises on when you're about to go to sleep is that it helps to prime your body better, because when you hear that white noise, your body instantaneously gets this feeling that white noise means it's about to go to sleep, and you get to go to sleep faster because of that. Besides that, you're now going to start to sleep with 9 to 10 hours of alleviated time. Because interestingly enough, when we sleep, we understand we don't sleep right away, right? But when we sleep, there are moments when we wake up. In the middle of the night, we wake up. You don't notice it, I don't notice it, but there are times when we wake up. So, 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours flat of sleep isn't really 8 hours. It's more 7 hours of sleep at best. That's why we alleviate time for at least 9 to 10 hours. 10 hours is kind of pushing it, so at least 9 hours of sleep. That's why we also have prep time for sleep, right? So 9 hours of sleep should be what you allocate to your sleep. Now, the last point that I'm going to talk about is when you're still in the first week of your healing phase. What I want you to do with the first week of your healing phase is that you go off and you just don't use your alarm. I know I said go buy a traditional alarm clock, go use that, and all this and all that, but for the first few days, 3 to 5 days, I want you to not use an alarm clock. My main reasoning for this is that when you use an alarm clock and you're still at your healing phase, you're still trying to recover from the shit that you've done, from the rut that you were in, what tends to happen is that when you go and wake up on that alarm, you're fucking cranky. You're fucking cranky, it hurts, it fucking sucks like a bitch, and you don't want to do it, you don't want to work, you just want to stay in bed. And what tends to happen is that your willpower gets consumed a lot, and the tasks for the rest of the day don't get accomplished as well as they could be. And sometimes you fucking quit. That's why, like, let me tell you like how this would happen with me, right? I remember when I would like be at my healing phase, when my brain's fucked, my mind's fucked, my sleep's fucked, and I had to like fucking wake up 5 a.m. in the morning to go and work on videos like this. I remember like it just hurt. It just fucking hurt. Like I couldn't get into it. My brain was fucked, my mind was fucked. Just even though I would like have everything set up, like my sleep in theory was perfect. In theory, like I got my 9 hours. But when you're entering the healing phase, especially for the first couple of days, your body needs more than those 9 hours. Your body probably needs like 12 hours, like probably, like whatever it may be like. But this, the TLDR, like the main takeaway for this is you don't use your alarm for the first 3 to 5 days so that your brain and your body heals to the point where when you do wake up on the intended time that you want to wake up, after 5 days at most, you don't feel cranky. You don't feel fucking groggy. You don't feel like shit. You don't feel that suck. And you can actually go ahead and do your tasks for the day properly. So, the next one that we're going to talk about is easing yourself into tasks, making them as easy as possible to the point where just showing up is enough. So, easing yourself into tasks, right? With easing yourself into tasks, let's say you already have your tasks set in place. I want you to put them to their utmost ease. I want you to set up your tasks in a way where it's very fucking easy to do, like so fucking easy to do that you think it's honestly beneath you. Like I'm being serious here, dude. This was what I did. Like I set up my tasks in a way where it was honestly like I thought it was beneath me. Like back then I would like, because I meditate, right? I would set up my meditation tasks for like 30 minutes. Like I used to do 30 minutes of meditation. Like that was pretty fucking easy for me. But now, when I was like at my healing phase, which I'm already like still at my healing phase right now, I set up my task or my meditation task for 5 minutes. Now I know it's like pretty fucking easy to the point where it's like I honestly felt like it was beneath me. But I understand very well that that was utmost ease. That was like easy enough for me to finish while still executing on my tasks. Because what we're aiming for when we're easing ourselves into our tasks isn't really the result. Like sure, that matters. But what we're aiming for is sustainability as well as making just enough of a momentum, making just enough of a push to where next week we can scale ourselves back up slowly but surely into our original tasks. It's like slowly but surely, week after week, scaling ourselves back up into our original tasks. That's why we ease ourselves into our tasks. That's why we make it as easy as possible for right now. So don't be like egotistical. Don't fucking shove your ego into this and try to tell yourself like, oh, I can handle this, or oh, I can be better than this. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna fucking quit. It's gonna fucking suck. And you're not gonna be consistent. Listen to the guy who has consistency. Listen to the guy who knows about this topic. Like, I have done what you have done. I have thought what you have thought. I was one of the biggest losers with consistency around. I quit hundreds and hundreds of times. So fuck off. Listen to my brain. Listen to me. Like, I know what I'm talking about. And when I say you go and do it as easy as possible, I fucking mean it. I fucking mean it, because you're gonna quit if you're going to scale that task. Even just a tiny fucking bit. Even just a tiny fucking bit. You're gonna quit. You're gonna burn out. You're gonna hate what you're doing. It's not gonna be sustainable. You're not gonna stay consistent. So please, bear in fucking mind, you have to make it as easy as possible for right now, for this week. Every single task as easy as possible. Like, ask yourself this question, right? How can I set up this task to be as easy as possible, to the point where I honestly feel like it's beneath me? And you set up that task, and now that's your task for the week. Even if that task is literally just you showing up, even if that task is literally just you going to the gym and doing one rep of one fucking exercise, even if it's to that level, consider that box tick, consider that box check, consider that task done. What we're aiming for is sustainability. What we're aiming for is to build up enough momentum to where next week you can scale. Next week you can do like 5 reps, maybe 3, like no, not 5 reps, like maybe like next week you can do like 3 reps. Next week you can do like next week you can do 5 reps. Like slowly scaling yourselves back into your original tasks as sustainably and as easy as possible. So once you've already like scaled your tasks down to as easy as possible, what you need to do with scaling your tasks is you have to do it slowly but surely. I think a lot of people, a lot of guys, when they go about self-improvement, they go about self-improvement in a way where they prioritize speed. They prioritize getting utmost results with as little time spent as possible. But that's not really the case. Self-improvement is for life. Like, if you're anything like me, you don't really want to be like everybody else. You don't really want to be like these fucking losers of society where they're really just consumers. They play video games 12 hours a day, they wank their dick offs 5 times a day, and they scroll social media seeing aspect after aspect. Like, do you want that life? Is that really for you? No, right? No. We're meant on self-improvement, and self-improvement is for fucking life. You gotta understand that. And if self-improvement is for fucking life, it would be in your best interest to slowly but surely ease yourself back into your former glory. You know why? Because when you do that, holy fuck, sustainability, like consistency, will just be curated to such an insane degree. Because when you look into the science of this, you have built up a consistent habit for the past few weeks. You've built up a consistent habit for a month, for 2 months. And that habit has already been formed. You've already done your tasks. Even if they're as bare bones as possible, even if they're as easy as possible, you've done them hundreds of times. To the point where it's become a habit, and you now don't struggle to do them. You now don't struggle to get into them. Because you're already so used to doing them. That's why I push sustainability as heavily as I can. Like, besides fucking momentum, dude, habits. This will make it so much fucking easier for you. So, what I recommend when you scale your tasks is that you scale it up as slowly as possible. So let's say this week, you have like 5 minutes of meditation. Like this week, you slowly scale yourself into your training. Like, you show up to the gym, you do 2 minutes of one workout, and once you're done with those 2 minutes, you get the fuck out of the gym. And once you do all of those tasks for the entire week, then next week, you scale yourself up. Next week, you're then going to do 7 minutes of meditation. Next week, you're going to then do 3 minutes of that one exercise. just slowly but surely adding difficulty. Like, I want you to ask yourself this question, right? How much can I add to this task where it's still sustainable for me and I can without a doubt say I can accomplish it? Now don't bitch yourself. Like, don't fucking lie to yourself and say like, oh, I can do 10 minutes. Like, you can't. Don't scale it up to such an insane degree. Like, slowly but surely do it. Slowly but surely do it. Slowly but surely scale yourself into it. Like, back then, I used to scale my tasks to such an insane degree week after week. Like, 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, the next week 20 minutes, the next week 30 minutes. It wasn't sustainable, dude. I kept fucking quitting. So that's why I recommend that you slowly ease yourself into tasks. Slowly but surely ease yourself into your tasks. Like, how much difficulty can I add for this task to where it's sustainable and I can accomplish it? Like, I'm certain that I can accomplish it. Like, even if you only add like 1 rep, even if you only add like 1 minute, that's enough. That's how you scale yourself slowly but surely into your former glory of your tasks. Back into your former glory with your tasks. So it's gonna take like a bunch of weeks. It's probably gonna take like a couple, like maybe 1 to 3 months of you slowly but surely getting yourself back into your former glory. And that's normal. That's okay. That's where sustainability is made. That's where a good habit forms. And that's when you actually reach that point. That's when it becomes easy to do the tasks you're supposed to do and easy to get into those tasks because of just how much you've done it. So, if you found this video helpful, then you might want to check out the top link in the description. If it's not in the top link, then go check out my YouTube homepage. I have a school community where I'll basically teach you lessons like this. I'll fucking coach you with your specific problems because I've gone through consistency, right? I've spent 5 years of my life learning about consistency, struggling with consistency, until I'd reach the point where progress is just inevitable, where I'm a straight shot up. So if you're interested in that, go check out the top link in the description. If it's not there, go check out my YouTube homepage. It's on there. It's like a school link. You just find like a lot of lessons like this, and you just have exclusive access to me on there, where if you have any specific problem, I'm just going to swoop right in and solve it for you. So go check it out. It's either in the top link in the description or in my YouTube homepage. Besides that, I have 2 courses on there. One is unfinished, the other is a consistency course where I'll basically teach you all about like the different lessons that I had learned that helped me to get consistent, like limiting beliefs that you need to destroy, like tools that you can use, habits, like ways to formulate good habits, and just so much more. At the end of the video, as a YouTuber, I am obliged to tell you to smash like, subscribe, and comment down below so that my videos get pushed out to more people and I can sell to them more. See you in the video. Keep moving forward no matter how hopeless it seems. Bye.